Alright everyone, here we are with ticker symbol PLTR. Before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all my first time viewers and investors. Welcome to my channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all my subscribers, welcome back, and let's jump into this chart. So PLTR stock has actually continued the run. If we zoom out, we can see that this has been in a bullish trajectory since the beginning of November. It was actually working its way up slightly in October, but kind of a lot of sideways movement there, all the way until about October 30th, started to work its way up. And November 5th, from that point forward, it's just been skyrocketing. Obviously, the volatility of the market does exist, the ups and downs, but every single time it's breaking through new resistance levels, reaching newer highs, and pulling further and further away from the 50-day moving average. But here we are in a situation where the stock actually went up, hit highs here, which we're going to look at in just a moment, and it's slightly dipped and leveled off. So now we're in this sideways movement. But throughout that whole trajectory and this slight dip, the 50-day moving average is catching up to the price. So the resistance levels that we're about to talk about, I want every single investor to be aware that it needs to be broken through. If not, this 50-day moving average will break through the price and end up above the price, and the price will be below it, meaning that this is now in bearish territory, giving leverage to the bears. So I want every single investor to be aware of this, and now we need to pay very close attention to what's going on here with PLTR stock. So let's go ahead and move our resistance to its new location and also our support. And I want us to look at this closely. I don't typically do this, but based off the chart, we're going to have to, and I'm going to explain it in just a moment. So let's go ahead and look at this closely. This is based off the last couple hours of the day, and our resistance is actually the highest point as this was falling. The reason why I don't want to use this one up here is because it was very volatile and it was very high, but this is the next resistance level and probably the most important that the bulls want to break through. But I want to break this down as narrow as possible so that we can zoom in on what we want to focus on. So if you want to write this down, 3352, very important number to keep in mind for the bulls. Resistance levels, I usually do them based off of a bullish candlestick, and usually the last bullish candlestick is the one before it starts to fall. But in this case, it actually was a pretty spiked up one, and then it's kind of close to one of the bullish candlesticks on its way up. So I kind of want to just use this point of reference here. But the true one that you want to keep in mind and the bulls want to break through is 3352. So I want every single investor to be aware of that. Here we are with our lowest point in the downward trend, and that's 2614. I'd write that down. That's an important number if it breaks through support and the 50-day moving average and the first support level in bearish territory. So I want every single investor to be aware of that. Pay close attention to that point of reference right there, 2614, and see how the stock is behaving between that support, the previous support, and the 50-day moving average, which we're going to talk about in just a moment. But let me get this here to the T because it's slightly above that point. There we go. So our support level, we're currently at 2844, and our support level is 2736. The bulls want to stay above this. The bears, they want to break through this, and our 50-day moving average is 2699. I'd write that down. Super important number. It lets us know on what side of the chart we're in. If we're above it, we're in bullish territory. If we're below it, we're in bearish territory. If the bears break through 2736, there's a very small window between the 50-day moving average and support. So every single investor needs to pay close attention to that. And then if the support and the 50-day moving average does get crossed, we're now in bearish territory, and you have this next point here at 2614 to pay close attention to the reaction of the stock. If it's getting dominated by the bears in a downward trend, or are the bulls trying to reappear and bring it back up. So super important to watch the behavior between these three levels, between the support up here, the support down here, and the 50-day moving average, to see if the bulls are reappearing or are the bears tearing this one down, because if this breaks through 26.14, this could be on its way down to newer lows. But before worrying about any of those numbers, the first support level is 27.36. So keep that in mind. Start watching the behavior of the stock from that point forward. On the other hand, we have our resistance. This is the point that the bulls need a breakthrough to continue the momentum, stay above the 50-day moving average, and start to hit newer highs, newer resistance levels, and pull further away from the 50-day moving average in an upward direction. That is 31.75. That needs to be turned into a support so that the bulls can pull away from it, reach newer highs, and then aim towards that 33.52 mark. And once this gets broken through, this will start to see newer highs, new resistance levels, and get deeper into bullish territory. But before getting there, 31.75 needs to be broken through, turn into a support so that the bulls can pull away from it. As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community. Don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watched this video. And thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money. At the end of this video, there's going to be a pop-up video, and in that video, I will be discussing about the S&P 500 index and how it's been rising several points on scheduled dates. As you see here on the graph, these circles are the dates that the pumps have happened, and I use them as examples to show you guys how much the stocks have risen and the S&P 500 index rose on those dates. And the reason why it's rising is due to the fact that the Federal Reserve is pumping the markets. On these dates, the charts and the dates speak for themselves, as we can see it here, and I break it down into more detail in the video. But just to summarize it, on these dates, the S&P 500 rises, and there's individual ticker symbols rising up with it, anywhere from 30 cents to $3 per share. I know it may not seem like a lot, but per share that does add up, and these individual ticker symbols are giving you back profits. These are profits, and like I always say, profits are profits. Whether it's $1 put into the market and you get back $2, you've put in an initial investment and you got back more than what you started with. That's what it's all about. And also in the video, I go into further detail showing you guys these dates and showing you how much it rose. Like, for example, this was one of the last pump dates, and the lowest point that it reached was down here at 35.11, and the highest point reached was 35.57. That's like a 40-point jump. And here we're seeing the same thing. It went down to 35.88, and it rose up to about, I'd say, let's see, this is all still in the same day. It rose up to about a total amount of 36.23. When you do the math, that's almost a 40 to 50 point jump, and there's individual ticker symbols rising up with this. Now, I'm not there to guarantee you profits. I'm not there to tell you to buy, sell, or hold anything in particular. I'm just here to inform every single investor on the great news, on the opportunity to maximize profits and minimize losses. You have to do your due diligence and research, but these charts and the dates speak for themselves. I mean, this was probably one of the largest jumps that I've seen in the last couple of pumps, and it was down here at 33.02, and it rose up to about 33.88. That was an 80-point jump. There was probably ticker symbols rising up more than $3 per share on those dates. And even on these dates, there's individual ticker symbols rising more than $3 per share. Check it out, see for yourselves, and my best advice is look for ticker symbols that may be resembling the behavior of the S&P 500 index, and you'll be able to go ahead and give it a shot. Check it out. Again, I'm not there to tell you to buy, sell, or hold anything in particular. I'm not there to guarantee you profits. I'm just here to go ahead and share the information along with every single viewer and investor. The video should be popping up soon. If you haven't seen it already, pop up. There is the link down below in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.